Hey there, it's Tank Girl here at the LG G7 event in San Francisco, and this is the LG G7 ThinQ. Yes, it's part of the ThinQ brand. It's got some AI features. So as you can see, the first thing that should strike you is this display. It is an IPS LCD panel, not an OLED. And don't mind the color temperature here. This is a truly white display. It does have dedicated white pixels. It's Quad HD, 6.1 inches. It has a notch that you can turn off, so don't worry about that. Don't freak out. A bit of a chin at the bottom, but it's a really gorgeous display. Great viewing angles. It can get super bright. What you're seeing right now is about half brightness. It's really optimized for reading in bright sunlight, so that's really good news. On board, you've got a Snapdragon 845, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, expandable via microSD, and you have, of course, a battery. The battery is only 3,000 milliamp hour. That seems a little on the low side, but Snapdragon 845 is pretty efficient, so we'll see how that pans out. Front-facing camera is 8 megapixel and has a portrait mode. It's synthetic portrait this year, but it's an improvement since none of the LG phones really have a portrait mode. So let me show you the back before I turn it into a fingerprint magnet. It is usual kind of design for LG. You can see the branding here, fingerprint reader, and the dual camera setup with LED flash and laser autofocus. Now the camera is a light variation on what we saw on the V30. 16 megapixel f/1.6 main shooter with OIS and a 16 megapixel f/1.9 wide angle lens. And that lens is a little less wide than before. It's 107 degrees, but it's still pretty damn good. There's a bunch of AI features on the camera. We saw those on the V30 as well. So that's the lay of the land in terms of the back. Now let's look at the sides. As you can see here, there's a power lock key on the right. And of course on the bottom you've got the speaker, USB Type-C, and a headphone jack. Of course there's a headphone jack, there's a quad DAC ESS here, so you're going to get the same incredible audio performance we've seen on the V30 last year and previous phones as well. And then on the left hand side here you can see there's a dedicated button for Google Assistant in addition to the volume rocker. Let me show you that. What's the weather today?
San Francisco today, it'll be partly cloudy with a forecasted high of 58 and a low of 51.
So as you can see, it works just fine. And you notice the mono speaker, it's only mono, is really quite loud actually. I tested it with some music earlier, and the big difference between being loud and just mono is compared to other phones, it's also super clear, which is really surprising actually. It gets insanely loud. So that's a really nice little extra feature. So again, this is the LG G7 ThinQ here in San Francisco with its gorgeous display, awesome dual camera system. Hey, did I mention there's also portrait mode in the back now? So there you go. Stay tuned for more videos. Please subscribe, like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. This is just an accessory video to the podcast. mobiletechpodcast.com is where it's at. See you later. Cheers.